Yeah, let's go.
Ithanda uthando nje yami. Mnandi. Yeah, let's unpack yet another beautiful story today of the beast.
Yeah, my kid.
You good?
I'm good, and how are you?
I'm good. Finally.
Okay, now let me just try to settle.
Okay, no problem. So man, you have a very interesting career, man. Like, yo, let's just take it from the beginning, man. When does it all start, man? When do you fall in love with football, and how old were you?
I was okay. I was very young. I think I was about uh 9 or 10, playing just playing in the streets. You know, I used to play in the streets with every kid. You know, every time, even at school, I used to like have my soccer ball with me. You know. And they knew like break time, I'm that kid that is always playing soccer, you know. And
Yeah,
then from there, I think when I started joining like small small like junior club in the townships, it was one guy was just passing by and he saw us playing and he was just like, hey, you guys must come to training. I think he owned a soccer club at that time. So I was like, you guys must just come to training. We're training on Monday at this time. You guys must be there. Then we just decided I was with friends then. And then we decided we all gonna go in. And then we all went for training. That's when it all started. I played for like under 13s. Played, and we registered in this local leagues. So we used to play in the local leagues. We played, and then yeah, moving from there, like to move to uh Stars of Africa, which is I feel like it was my first academy that I played for. I've never played for any academy besides them actually. So I was also playing in the local when you're playing in the dust, with where we all started. And then there was just one guy, his name is Jabu, I still even speak to him even now, you know.
yeah.
He was like, hey, I think you should try somewhere, maybe we should go uh for like an assessment, let them see you, I think you have the potential. So he came to speak to the parents. And then the parents was like, yeah, no problem, and then he would fetch me after school. I think I was like uh 14. I think I was 14 that time. So he'd fetch me after school, and I used to ask because driving from the East Rand to Joburg, sometimes there's traffic. So I used to ask at school to say, can I at least um, come out a little bit early, just because so that I can attend training. So around 1:30, I should be out, you know. So they knew Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays he has to leave, you know. So I started going, and then when I went the first time, um, it was because I never saw, like, there's things that I've never seen because I'm from, where we playing, like, we're using, how can I say, we don't have like every equipment, right? But when you get into the academy, they have the equipment that is needed. They have the leather, they have, the dribbling sticks and all that, So it was new to me, So it was really new to me, like, what is this? But then I had to go through the process of the trial, right? So and then I went through the process. I think it took me about 2 months while I'm traveling. Every week I know I have to travel, until they like we see some like there's potential in you. And back then they used to have a scholarship. So if they see that you really like um have potential and someone that they can build to become football player at one stage, they would bring you in to stay in the academy. So you can stay there and live there and you school there and everything from that age, So yeah, I think then the second year, because it was mid-year, the second year I had to move in to the academy, moving from home. Everything is new now. Now I'm seeing every new face, and there's no mom, there's no more dad anymore, who will wake you up from early in the morning and say you need to go to school. You have to wake up by yourself and everything. I think that's when I felt like, oh, it's okay. Now the journey has started, making that step, So yeah, that's how it all started, and then I got myself into the academy.
Okay, so I have a little problem here. I don't really see you clearly, so I'm gonna kick you out and bring you back in so we continue. Okay?
Okay, sure. Okay, I'm back now. I think you can see me. You can see me properly.
Yeah, it's better than before. I see people here saying you're the role model. They love you. They look up to you. That's crazy, bro. How old are you? How old are you right now? You're not even 30, bro. Like, people are already calling you a role. How does that feel?
I'm humbled, and it feels, it feels great, and it feels good to know that you inspire. There's people that you inspire. And there's people that are looking up to you. I feel blessed to be in a position like that.
Does it give you pressure to perform at a higher level?
It actually does. It actually does. You gotta be willing to take the pressure that comes with it. But they always say, to whom much is given, much is expected. So I guess it comes with pressure because there's expectations to everyone that has much given to them, and so I think it does come with pressure, but it is like it's a good.
Yeah, facts. Okay, let's get back to the career. Now, first time in your academy, what position are you playing now? Are you a center back or are you still in a different position?
First time when I played here, I used to play as a midfielder. So as I played as a defensive mid, I played until I got into the academy. Then Coach Farouk, I think he saw something in me. He was like, I think to where you want to go, you make it very quick if I make you a center back. You'll get there very, very early because I can see you have those qualities. Then he just converts me into like a center back. And the network is bad,
Oh man, can you please repeat that?
Yeah, sorry about that. I'm saying, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I'm saying, when I started as a defensive midfielder. And then Coach Farouk, I think he saw a little bit of potential, and then he was like to me, I think you can make it very early if you play as a center back because we have a very few good center backs in South Africa. And then he then said, okay, let me convert you into a center back position. Then that's when I started playing center back from under 15. Then from there I used to play center back all the way, even though I started as a midfielder, even at school. But at school, I used to play as a right wing because I used to like to dribble and all this stuff, But when I got into when I got into the academy, it was more of basic stuff. They teach you football, and then I got to see how football really like it looks like, and then I turned into becoming one of like the best center backs they had in the academy.
Hey, bro, like I never would have pictured you as a winger. That's crazy. Because I don't even see you running that fast, bro. Like I see you
Yeah,
as a
yeah,
chill
yeah. It's
player.
crazy. It's crazy. It's really crazy. But you know what's crazy, ne? Is that at school, uh, I used to do, I used to run, I used to do athletics, right? So I don't know what happened as time went by and with age, like I started feeling like I'm not as as
That's
quick
fast.
or as explosive as fast as I used to be as a kid, because I used to run like 100 meters and all that, and I represented like my school when I was really like young in primary, like with athletes and all that. But as I grew, I think something that wasn't just not was no more in me.
Were you skinny? Did you gain weight?
I think you're right. I think as a kid, when I was growing up, I was very skinny. I was small.
Yeah.
But then and then when even when I joined the academy, I was tall, but I was skinny. But then when I got there, it's the proper nutrition, it's the diets, it's the training, it's all that. Then I turned into something else. Now I have muscles. I have, the thighs are big. So I wasn't, so quick and all that. I had the heights, but I was just skinny.
Bro, like you see this part from you being a winger and skinny, this is crazy. I, ne- I never would have imagined that. So let's talk about you moving to Cape Town All Stars. How does that happen now? Because I believe that's a big move now.
Oh, that happens when I was in the what you call when I was still in the academy,
Yeah.
right? So and then it gets to a point where players have to move out because now they feel like you've passed that stage of being an academy player now. You are ready to play in a professional, and they feel like they've you have what it takes right now. So and then that time came, then there was a guy called Eugene. He's I think it's ambassadors, yeah, ambassador sports management. So this guy, there was one time where they hosted, these Phillies games.
Oh
So
yeah, yeah.
I just said, I let me go. He called me. He actually knew me. I didn't know him, but then he called me to say, okay, come play for my team. I didn't know he's also
Okay.
like a old guy who knows people and all that. Then I went, and it happened that when I played, he really liked what he saw and all that. Then it was a thing whereby, okay, because the academy was also trying to move me out right now. They were trying to get options, look into different options and market to me and where they can
Yeah,
take me and all that.
yeah.
Um, Ganti, by luck, he's there. I told him, speak to Coach Farouk. He probably will like this because he's also um trying something else for me, trying to see where he can move me into, because he feels like now it's the time. And when
Yeah.
it gets to that time, you need to, get a new challenge, and see how you cope from there. And then he spoke to him. Then they had an agreement. They both agreed on that, and I had to go to Cape Town for just like an assessment. And then I got there. It was like, I think it was like mid-season. I think it was mid-season for them. Then get to there, do the mid-season. Um, I think I trained about a week or two, you know, and then they were like, no, we really like keen on bringing you on board and all that. Then everything just started, the negotiations and everything happened, and yeah, that's how it all happened. And that's how the whole situation and the whole move came about. you know. And
Yeah.
just before I had to go to Cape Town, I first had to actually the first plan was I was supposed to go to the Braga under 23 in Portugal, but then it didn't happen that time because right at that time we had COVID. The COVID hit.
Oh,
So when COVID hit, then the travel was became a little bit difficult. And I remember it was a point where I was like, ish, I was stressful because I was like, what's next now? You know, this one is down. So we need to look
yeah.
into something else that I can get here. But lucky enough, this guy was here, and that's how the move happened. And you know, finally got into like Cape Town hostels.
I want to go back to my words saying like it's God. When God wants something to happen, it will happen, bro. Like this is crazy because literally an unknown person just comes and say, "Come play for my team," and that becomes your biggest move, and it impacted even where you are today. But
Exactly.
uh, there's a message here that touched my heart, and I think I want to read it because yeah, this Tato Sidim. I don't know if you know him
Yeah,
personally.
yeah, I know him. I know.
Yeah, because he's really grateful for what you did for him. He said like you changed his life like that. Yo, that stood out for me, man. What's that message? Yeah, I missed it, but he said you changed his life. He's the man that he is because of you. So I was like, yo,
Yeah. I'm grateful. I'm grateful for that, man. I'm humbled. I know him. We used to um we played together back in the academy, you know. So yeah, I do know
uh,
him very well.
so now before we talk about all stuff, tell me this one thing: how does it feel working with Coach Farouk? Man? That's a legend in the game.
Oh, for me, I feel I don't know, but I feel very grateful to have worked with such, you know. I feel like as a player, you know, as a young player who wants to develop, you know, uh, he knows what it takes to build a player, you know. For me, I think he really knows what it takes to build a player, and it was it's the small details that he focuses on that people also don't really like focus on so much, you know, and that really makes you he even used to say that really will make you like a little bit different to everyone else because that's small details because when we put every player there everyone can I think they can play they can kick a
Yeah,
soccer ball but those small details that's when you're able to see this is a top quality player and this is he's a player, you know. So working with him was I'm just grateful. It was something that I will never ever like really take for granted. You know, I am what I am today, or the player that I think I am today is because of all the work he has done for me, and he played a big role in my career. And you know, I would say, if not at the best, they still one of the best academy to build a player and to produce players I've came across in my experience, you know, because he really knows what he takes. You know, when he tells you at training, sometimes he's like, "Listen to me, I'm gonna make you a star." You know, he really means that.
yeah.
So yeah, it was really an honor to be working with him. You know, it's great. Something else.
Yeah, man. Like we should give flowers to Coach Farouk because he's been doing this for so many years at different levels, different clubs, and we never miss, bro. Like it's just crazy. And when you look at Cape Town All Stars right now, it brought so many quality players, like a lot. Well, so when he says he's gonna make you a star, he means business for real. There's proof to that. Like we can name a
Yeah,
million players right now.
yeah,
So yeah, shout out.
definitely, definitely, my brother. You
I
know,
believe
for
those
sure.
lessons even helped you like become a better player when you moved out like abroad.
You know, he I strongly believe, I don't know, but I don't know how will people like take this, but I believe when you've worked with that guy and you've been in that house and you've worked under his hands, I strongly believe you can cope anywhere in the world because what you are taught there is something different, is something that you still gonna come across whenever you move abroad or whenever you'll see that they'll be able to see that, oh, he is, they're not gonna start all over. They just, polishing wherever he left off. So for me, I think once you've worked there and you've worked with someone like him, you can cope anyway. I believe so, you know.
Shout out, man. All the flowers given to the coach.
But,
So, how would you best describe your time at Ajax? How was it for you?
I think uh, it was a great experience. First professional contract.
Yeah,
Um,
first money.
lots of comes with um, a lot of pressure, of course, a
Yeah,
lot of uncertainty. Like you are really uncertain about certain things because you are new. You are trying to get yourself into um, an environment where people will really like trust you. You have to gain the trust. You understand when you're coming out from it's like a student when he's coming out from the varsity when they finish their graduation and now they're starting to get a job. That's how I look at it. I've just finished my graduation with the academy and now I'm starting a real job. It's real job now. That's
yeah,
where it really matters the most. I feel like it was a great experience. It came with a lot of ups and downs, I must say, with injuries and
yeah, yeah,
um,
yeah.
I would have loved to play more. I didn't get so much game time because of the injury I had when I was there,
Yeah.
and it was frustrating at that time, but I feel like I got to learn a lot when I got into a professional football, which is, I feel like it's two different things. Playing development and academy is different to professional side, it's really, you really need to take care of yourself. You need to be smart enough. Um, People you have to, you need to be around or surround yourself with, people that will make you better as well, because when we're there to all do our best and we're all there to become the best we can possibly be and feed our families,
Yeah.
we don't, we take it different now. You can't take it as how you used to take it when you are in the academy. So you need to be able to survive under those conditions, and it really had um, given me how can I say, a little bit of what's the word? A little bit of alert, to say, okay, this is how it
Uh,
is. I think it was just a thing of, yeah, this is how it's going now.
then
You
I
need to,
open. Yeah.
can I open? Yeah, you need to be up. And then yeah, but overall, it was a great experience. I enjoyed being there. It was very a good place. I love Cape Town, by the way. It's one of my best cities in South Africa.
Guy, the top place, top.
Yeah, it's very, very top, very top. So yeah, I really enjoyed, and it was great. It given me an opportunity. I can never um, say I'm not grateful or for that opportunity. I still feel like they've done like they still shaped me as a player, working with Coach
Mm-hmm.
Semba and, and everyone that was there, Coach Marlon, and it was way different. You get to work with experienced players that have a little bit of experience more than you, and you just
Can you hear me
I can hear you.
clearly? So okay, you saying like when you were not playing, it was kind of not so good mentally. How are you doing, and how would you survive? Because I understand that was pretty close to depressing.
Yeah, it was really frustrating at some point, but um, I just because at that time when I wasn't really playing, so mentally I used to I started like finding there was just a gym across us, that was just
Oh,
across the accommodation where I used to stay. So I used to spend a lot of my time, there. Like usually, when I get up in the morning, probably at 5 before I go to training, I'll probably go there, even if I know I'm injured, I can't do anything, but just to get my mind, do something, maybe a yoga or something, you know. But I think the hardest battle or the hardest fight that I had to win was when we go into the training session and I have to sit there and watch the guys play. You
yeah,
know, that was the hardest one because now I can't do anything and I want to be in the field. You wanna be there and play, but unfortunately you can't. So it was really a tough time, but I had people, I had surroundings that even like Tabo, the roommate that I had, Loisani, was very like him and
oh
I
yeah,
were very close that time. Yeah, we were very close, like we were close. So he was very supportive in a way, that I will always speak to him and all that. So then it came a time where I was like, because the injury kept on going to the doctor and it looks like it wasn't getting any kind of like better, I go today, they say give us probably 7 weeks or 8 weeks, you know.
oof,
You go the next time, they're like still not ready yet, I think I went like 3 times. Then I was like, I had to think to myself. Then I was like, okay, we were coached. Coach Roger Disa was the manager at that time, So and then we had a good relationship. I just had to go and speak to him and be like, Coach, you can see what I'm going through now, and this thing just happens just even before the season starts. I mean, we were playing. We came from off season, right, on holiday. First day we train. Second day of training
yo,
session, I get injured. You know, so that whole first round, I didn't see football. From August to going to January, I didn't see no football. You know,
yeah, yeah,
so uh, I spoke to him. I'm like, can I just understand I'm on contract and all that, but I feel like even when I'm at home, because I'll be happier, mentally I'll be better. Can I at least go home a little bit? Give me
yeah,
some few weeks to just
yeah,
go home, see the family. Maybe I'll be able to, be happy and recovery as well. It works with your mind as well. You understand? So he was very understanding. He was like, even to me, I was in shock. He was like, how many weeks do you need? And so you can go. I'm like, no, you can give me 2 or 3. I think it's enough, you know?
yeah.
He was like, okay, we're gonna give you a program that you need to follow
Follow
once
when you home.
you're home.
Yeah,
I went home and I was just doing the program and seeing my physio that side when I was home and, try to see the physio, be at home, just so it helps me a little bit mentally. The family helped me as well because they are there, and you able to, when you're going through those tough times and difficult times, you just need those people around you, you know, to keep you going and all that. So I think they played a huge role, and that's how I was able to overcome that situation, you know.
Yeah, hey man. You know, I had to ask this because just a few weeks back we were watching the Orlando Pirates thing, and now we just saw Dele Ali. Like it's, y'all go through a lot, and we don't know about that, man. Y'all go through a whole lot, and crazy thing is like tomorrow if you come like on practice and you're not smiling, camera catches you, it's a whole different story. You always have to be smile. You always have to be happy on the camera, even though like you're dying inside. It's crazy, bro.
Crazy. I think that's the crazy part about the thing that we do, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah, people have to they get to see all the success and everything, but you know, they don't see the sacrifice, the pain and
yeah,
everything we have to go through, you know. So
yeah. Because they can create a story right now. If you see a picture of you looking down, you can say, ah, he's not happy that side. He wants to leave. The coach, wow. It can go left very quick. So, man, now you leave Ajax. You go into Ukraine, right?
okay. Right. We mean, sorry, I didn't hear that.
When you left Ajax, you went straight to Ukraine, right?
Yeah, I went to Finland. Yeah, I went to Finland.
But it was January. What I don't understand is by April you were moving. What's happening?
Okay, so this is how everything just happened, you know. When I was at Cape Town, right?
Yeah,
So I'm at Cape Town. I'm there. I think it was a part of the plan that this thing should happen. You know,
oh,
it was when I was going into a pre-season, I already knew, you know, that okay, there's a possibility of this and that, right?
yeah,
But if it's gonna happen, okay. If it doesn't, I'm actually also playing here, you know. So and then when that time came, and then because I was injured. Then in December when I started doing my program, and I started actually training now, you know, fully and all that, you know. And then they were like, because remember, because I was supposed to go for like Portugal, but it didn't happen,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know.
yeah,
So then they were like, okay, um, here's an opportunity, you understand, and I feel like it's gonna be a stepping stone for you and all that. And I was like, I'm open to it because I was in a situation whereby as well I felt like when I was injured, and now at the club when Coach Roger was there, he was we were because we had a good relationship. But when it happened that he left for Egypt, right? In the,
mm,
then that's when the challenge came that you know I'm still injured. I
yeah,
haven't played, so they have to consider a lot of things now, right? And someone that was there for you and trying to protect you because he's the one that
yeah,
he's gone,
yeah,
he left. So now, what do I do? You know, and then have to sit down and think. I'm like, okay, do I have to consider like staying here? But there's also the conditions that they came with, also like different conditions. You know, like in Cape Town, if I had to stay,
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
so things were starting to change because
yeah,
of I haven't played in a long time, you know,
yeah,
and or go to somewhere else so I'm gonna start afresh. They don't know where
yeah,
I'm from. They don't know whether I'm injured. I'm going there
yeah.
to impress and
Ooh,
win. If I win, I win. It's a risk that I'm willing to take. I was like, I had to think. I'm like, it's either you take the risk or you don't. But I don't want to live my life. If I go and it's an oops, okay, fine,
Yeah,
it happens,
yeah, yeah.
But I don't want to live my life on regrets,
What could have?
saying what could have, what should have. Let me
Yeah,
rather take it. If I get there, it's a flop, then I'll take it.
it's what it is.
I have no one to blame and point a finger at and be like, you told me this, you told me. Let me listen to my heart, so that one day when I say, okay, it didn't work out, I'll have myself to blame, but I won't point a finger at anyone, So
Yeah.
I was like, okay, no, I'm willing. I spoke to my family about it, and they're like, okay, cool, we're supportive in this, So it's a thing whereby, okay, now I have to start with the visa process. I do everything goes smoothly. I I have to go then, you know. Then I had to fly to there. It's a new environment. It's winter, very
Yeah.
cold, -1, snow on the beach.
Oof.
You
Oh,
know,
new to you. Yeah.
new to me. Never played in those conditions like before.
Yeah. That's crazy. Even the Cape Town is cold, but it doesn't really prepare you for that. Nah. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't really. It doesn't really get that cold. You know.
So, okay, let's continue. How do you then move forward?
Okay, so get there. Fine. I got every detail on how to travel. It was a very long travel because to the place that I was going to, the city that I was going to, it's like in Finland, but a little bit out, because
Oh,
from there you have to take. I've never traveled using a boat, like a Titanic boat before. It was my first time, where I'm like, it's a really, you can sleep very comfortable. So,
not me.
you know, so I traveled. I went there. They told me, okay, this is how you're gonna travel. I go to Finland. You go to the airports. Take a train. The train will take you to where the boat is. I have your you have your boat ticket. You have
Yo, yo, yeah.
your passport with you. They tell you, this is how you're gonna travel. You go to the boat. You give the lady the passport. She'll show you your room. Your food ticket. Everything that you need is there. You know
Yeah.
the boat will get to our city, because the boat goes Denmark, Sweden, and then it goes to that city. So
Oh,
it took me so I traveled about 10 hours flight from SA to Finland, get to Finland, jump on a boat. That could take me another 8 hours to get to where I'm going. You know.
yo, 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 yo. Traveling alone is hectic. Not talking about the competition, like just traveling alone. Yo,
It's just hey, it was, yeah, it's hectic, just alone there, and have really no one to speak to, just trying to listen to music. You get into, when it's time for for connection, you try and call people at home, you tell them how far you are and all that. And then, yeah, so then until I got to the destination, it's 2 a.m. They said there's a driver that will fetch me. He has a sort of a note, not a sort of, let me say, a card box.
okay.
It has my name, the name of the team. So that's how I'll be able to see the driver.
Yeah.
So as soon as I jump off the boat, everyone is just going to their direction and their cars. I'm looking. So I think this guy just saw that I'm the only black person there. He called my name, you know. Then I'm like, oh, it's him. I'm like, oh, it's him. Yeah, he called me by my name, because there was no any black guy there. So um, he was like, taxi. I'm like, yeah. So went to the taxi. It's very cold. I'm having my two, like I'm wearing like a hoodie and a very big jacket, very cold. So I have to go to the hotel. He has to drop me there. So go to the hotel. There's no one at the reception, right? Or at the door. They don't work like that in Europe. So they send you, when you book a hotel, they send you a code. That's what the code you're gonna use to open the door. When you open the door at the reception, you find the key, you're gonna go to your room. So
Okay. Okay.
so now I get there, they send me the details. This is the code. He dropped me at the hotel. He just drops me. I take out my bags. There's no one in the street. 2 a.m. I go into the hotel. I press the code. The door opens. On the reception, they say there's an envelope with your name on it. Take that envelope. You open that envelope. You get a key. You go to the room. I'll open the envelope. I get a key. I go upstairs to my room. They like, tomorrow, 12 a.m., the director will come pick you up. So sharp. I get some sleep. In the morning, the director comes. He picks you up. Take your bags, put your bags. You see how they do it in Europe is different. You coming to Europe, the director will take you around the city and show you the city, the whole city, drive you for like an hour and speak to you where you from, how you, and do
Wow.
like how's things at home, everything. They care about the player. They understand that you are human. So I get in the car. The first thing I'm thinking we're just gonna drive to the stadium or drive to wherever.
Yeah.
It's like, I have to drive you around. We're gonna go have lunch so I can speak to you. So we drive. He shows me, this is the beach, this is the city. When you want food, this is where you buy groceries. This is, about an hour driving around and showing me the whole place until we get to sit, and have lunch, and we have some conversation and ask me, okay, fine, where you from, and all that, more of also personal details. You have kids. Do you send money home? Are you looking to send money home and all that? What are you, and everything more personal. And then, yeah, that's how everything happened. And from there, the next day, I just had to start training with the club. So the first day was more about getting to know the place and knowing the person, where does it come from and everything, and they tell you as their club, the responsibility they'll do. And they tell you, if you get to sign you, this happens before they give you a contract. You still go on a trial, but you have to tell them that, okay, they will tell you what they can do for you and the responsibility that they as a club will take, and you also have to tell and say your part, and all that. Then fine. Then the next day I started training with the club, that's how it was.
Yo, bro, that's professional, bro. That's profound. That's just be.
It's
Yo,
very
hey,
professional.
guys, fly in design. Like, yo, go play in Europe. So, the culture shock, when does it hit you?
The culture, sorry.
Culture shock.
Oh. Aish, the culture shock. It hits me like one of, like, after some few I'll say couple of few months, you know. Yeah,
What would you say are some of the things that really shocked you? Like things that you've never seen in South Africa or never even
Okay,
studied about?
the first, okay, things that the first thing that I saw was, when you go into the house, whether it's an apartment or what, you leave your shoes at the door. You don't walk with your shoes in the house. Your shoes you leave them. You go inside, you leave your shoes there. You walk with your socks. You walk on your sock. You don't wear shoes. You don't wear shoes in the house. That's disrespect for them.
I'm not doing that. In a coldest country.
Yeah, Yeah, you can't. So but um, it's something different, because how they do things is also different. Also with, you see, like in the morning before training, right?
Yeah.
So when you I don't want to compare, but when actually when you're at home, like for training, you get up, you're looking forward to training. You're gonna get there and they'll tell you right on the day how will the training be looking like and what you're gonna be doing. There, you sleep today. Before you sleep, we had a session today. Before you sleep, there's a link. They've sent out a link. When you enter that link
Oh,
on your phone, it it asks questions like, how's your fatigue out of 10? So you put out of 10 your fatigue. You uh how like how do you feel? You understand? You put everything. So and then before you sleep, then you sleep. In the morning, before 8 or before 9, you have to complete the link again. There's a new link that they're gonna send, that you need to say
yeah.
about how you feel and how many hours did you sleep. So before you even travel to the training field, you've completed the link. By the time you get to the training field, the guy that works with those things is already sitting there. He knows every information that you've slept. If you've slept 4 hours, maybe you said you slept hours, they will ask you what was the problem. Why did you sleep 4 hours or 6 hours? Why didn't you have good sleep? And then you have to tell them, okay, I didn't have good sleep because of this and this and
Wow.
this. Okay, maybe or you say, ish, my fatigue, I'm feeling a little bit. You said on the link you feel a little bit tired. Tomorrow they'll try and say, okay, fine. We saw that you said you feel a little bit tired, so they will create something for you. This is how the session will go today. And all that. And so those were the like few different things that I got to experience, and it was way too like professional for me, because sometimes there's days where I used to forget to complete the link, because I'm used to getting up in the morning, going to training. Hey, when I get there, the guy is like, I don't see your name there. What's happening? I didn't do the link. I'm like, yo, I forgot. you know So I had to get used to it, that every morning I know. When I open my WhatsApp, there's a link there that I have to complete. It's very important. It's for my well-being. I complete that link and everything. And you get to training, uh, you go in the what is this? In the dressing room, you have your own place where everyone sits. You don't just sit anywhere. Your name, your picture is there. That's your dressing room. That's your locker. You leave your soccer boots there. You go train. You go home. In South Africa, we can't do that because we don't know what are people doing. But your soccer boots, you leave them soccer boots there. There. After training, your tights and everything, you leave it there. You're gonna find it there tomorrow.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, I mean, it's very,
But it's true, man. But it's true.
you know, yeah.
Yeah. So,
So,
okay,
sorry?
can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. You mentioned that the guy saw a black guy and you knew that it was you, and he called you. But now you got to a team, they can't pronounce your name, and they give you a new nickname. Tell me about that.
So, yeah, so now I go to the team and they feel like it's difficult to pronounce the name, because the director was also struggling to pronounce the name,
Yeah.
and just happened that he started he started with that name,
The
Then,
director.
sorry? Yes, yes,
The director.
yes, yes, the director, the director. The director started with the name, so and then the coach as well wasn't, very, because they'll forget my name, So then that's how it happened that everyone now I also had to accept that okay, when they call this name, I know it's me, they're calling me. When they say this, it's me, so then I had to really accept that. you know.
What does the name mean though?
What does it? Nah, it's. I don't think it means like uh something like really the specific something. It was just a name that they had to like they thought of, and it came across his mind, the director, and then he felt like it was easy to pronounce. So
Oh,
yeah,
okay. Oh, okay. And I understand that.
yeah,
Like, it's kind of crazy though. So, bro, now when I look at your career, like I said, you were signed in January, April you were moving. Then another short stint, you're coming back to Morocco. Like you're not spending 2 seasons, 3 seasons in a club. Short stint, you're coming back to Morocco. How does that feel? Do you feel like, okay, this is a downgrade or this is a new opportunity for me to shine? How does that feel coming back to Morocco?
um. To be honest, nah, I now looking at it, not trying to say bad or anything on anyone,
Yeah.
I felt like in some things you just have to learn from them yourself, You can give me the advice and say this and this, but it's up to me whether I'm willing to take that, or the decision is still up to me, and I have to take the consequences that comes with that decision, you know.
Fair.
So, right, I stay there because first time, um, I'm not used to things, to how things are happening in Europe, I'm alone,
Yeah.
and
I feel you.
now it gets really tough. I don't want to lie. There's times where it gets really tough, and um, so like then you start thinking of those things. Like there's an offer at home, or everything like that.
Yeah.
So uh, then I think it was about July. Where I was like, no, June, Yeah, I think it was in June, because when you get into Europe, people need to understand this. You can be, they able to see there's a good player, right? But you need to adjust to everything. You need to adjust to everything. You need to adjust how football is played. Football
Yeah.
is not played the same. People can say, uh, for example, we can make an example with the European country that is very low, but still with the African football is not the same. You just have to adjust to how football is and how things are in Europe, which is I felt like that year I felt it was a little bit also, how can I say, it was a little bit also challenging, because it's very different, and there's there's what you call the weather, and I had no one to speak to and all that. So when that thing came, and I was like, okay, this might be, I tried to speak to a few people, and because I like to hear everyone's opinion on how should I handle
Yeah.
situations.
Yeah.
I call people that have been in maybe in the same situation I call and all that, and I get different advisors,
Yeah.
because at the end of the day, I have to make that decision for myself, you know.
Yeah.
And the decision I make, I'm like, okay, fine. I'm coming back home. I'm just gonna take the opportunity and see. You understand? Not uh knowing that maybe, how can I say? Maybe this year is just a year of adjusting to how everything is. like get used, because I spoke to Younger when I coach here. I found Younger. I'm like Younger. Younger was like, my first year was tough. You know, I found a Cameroonian guy. He was like to me, he's from Cameroon. He asked me, you know, in the same team, he said to me, is it your first time in Europe?
Yeah.
I'm like, yes, it's my first time in Europe. He's like, it's going to be tough, you know, but you must be prepared for it in terms of football, in terms of everything. It's just going to say, but once you use this year or use this next coming 6 months to adjust to everything, then once you're done with that, everything will be good, you know, everything will be good. You know, you'll see that, you know, because also with also, sorry to cut you, but with also the cold, you know, when I came, it was really winter and it was cold, and it was really cold for me because I've never experienced such cold. So it was even hard to run. It was even hard to run. I won't even lie. So then I had to really adapt to that and all that. So I made the decision. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna I'll stick to this decision. But I get there. I'm like, okay, fine. This is the route to take now. You know, I've already made a decision in my mind, but it was a big mistake that I've made. You know, because just 2 days or 3 days after that, 2 days or 3 days after that, you know, I knew that there was probably like people that have been watching and clubs that have been watching, you know. But I just they told me about it, like that guy told me about it, that I spoke to who and who, and I feel like it's a great step where you can look into. They're looking at younger players to, you know, to make for their second team, right? Because in Europe you have you're gonna have, let's say let me say Chiefs. You're gonna have a Kaizer Chiefs B. That Kaizer Chiefs B can play in the NFD, and Chiefs can play in the PSL. So you know, so they can have whatever B just in a league below their Premier League. You know, to say.
Wow.
So yeah, so so I then came and then I made that decision, which I felt like it was a little bit of. I made decisions in a rush. I don't regret it, but I had to learn from it because right after that, like I said, I had to. You see how things happen, right, Ish? You know, to speak about this one is it happens. I'm at Baroka. I've trained and everything. Signed the contract. 3 days after, there's interest from Sweden. You know, what do I do? You know,
Switch back
I've
from MLS.
I mean, there's interest from Sweden.
Sweden. Oh,
There's a club in Hammarby B. You know, it was Hammarby, I think. So I asked, you know, it was a difficult situation because I asked to say, can I at least go? You understand? To attend. Can I at least go? And then everything, the negotiations and everything will be done once I finish everything. But it was a really difficult situation I got myself into because they were, for certain reasons, those things they were not willing they were not willing for that to happen, you know. So I had to say, okay, I've made a decision. I have to stick to this decision and let me stick to it. Nothing I can do, you know, at this point in time.
yeah. It's crazy, bro. Like, yo, shout out. Like this man is saying here, it takes a lot of mental strength, man. Like, you're strong. So, while we here, where does the beast name even come from? Like, when do you get this name?
I got that okay. The beast name comes from back in the academy, you know. Yeah, in the academy, so we had how can I say? We had in the mornings we used to do gym, right? We used to do gym in the morning, like before we go to school. And so I used to like I remember this one guy, Liacho, he's the one that came with it. So in the gym I used to be like kind of that beast when it's gym time, you
Yeah.
know. I'm
Yeah.
there, I'm putting in the work, the weights, I'm there. Early in the morning, when you wake up in the morning early, you still feel very sleepy, 5 a.m. But I'm there in the morning making the noise in the gym, like, so that's how it came about.
He's the real beast.
Yeah, so that's how it came about.
Even there's a funny comment here based on what you just said about a team having a B team on the other side. So
Yeah.
this many say this many saying so it's possible that Super Sport may be Sundowns B.
Super Sport maybe Sun must be.
Well, disrespectful, man.
Amen, amen. Hey, this guy.
So, man, now you're in Baroka and you know you've missed a few opportunities. How does that work out for you? I know you've been here since August. It's not been that long, but has that made your stay a bit difficult or was it okay?
It was lots of I would say ups and downs. Not really I would say bad experience, but I got to learn from the experience because and now I got to see that things are done different, somewhere else. And me going there was I want to get the game time and let me play because I'm already here. I can't change anything. Let me just use the opportunity and play. But it turns out to be I won't lie, I had a lot of um there was just as a player you want to focus in football and play
Yeah.
football. That's how you become better. But then if you go into work and there's also side factors of that are coming into the field, it doesn't feel right as a player. And I had to there was I had a lot of those where I felt like um the club is good and everything is good, but there was just side factors that were just not not
Yeah.
not supposed to be happening. And how do you work under such, and how do you expect to perform and give in 100 all the time when you're working under so much stress and so much strain that you don't know that tomorrow you'll have your job or what?
Yeah, it's not possible to work under those conditions. So, bro, you no, it's not possible. You can't work under those conditions. You just can't. Not knowing what's happening tomorrow, you need assurance. You need assurance for them. So, it, moving. Who's moving? Is it Elite Sport Management? Who are you with?
Okay, no, when I was speaking to when I got back home, the person I was speaking to was Andrew. So he's what's I forgot what is not elite. He's what do I forget his name? But it's Andrew Molife. I forgot the his company name.
Okay.
But I'll remember as we go along, I think. So he's the guy that I was speaking to, and the elite guy was also involved because of we had like a close connection with him. Like we used to speak all the time. We used to
Yeah.
talk all the time since I've been in Europe and all that and all that. So I go there. He's the one that was responsible of the deal, Andrew. And then we do everything. We do the deal. We agree, and everything is fine, right? And yeah, that's how everything happened. And they would get to work with Coach Kobola. I feel like he's one of the like good coaches I've came across, and so yeah, and then was looking forward to the opportunity, even though it didn't turn out to something that I thought it would, but get to take the lesson from it, and we learn from those, and we able to make better decisions in the next time, if we ever get a chance to,
Yeah, okay. So you're still with the same. It's Andrew that's actually moving you even now.
Nah, I don't. I had to. Unfortunately, we had to, like, I think it was, we had to disagree, and we had to, like, end our contract, because of certain um just certain aspects where I feel like we were not just like seeing eye to eye, and it was
Yeah,
nothing really like personal, but we both decided on that, and that's how everything went by. And um yeah, I believe as a player you have your ambitions, and and everyone in life, they have their ambitions, they have their goals, and they want to know where they want to go.
yeah,
So you and I, if we have to work, everything that we have to work has to be alignment with what I want and what you want.
yes. Facts.
So if it's not like that, then we have to look into a different picture.
Yeah. Then maybe we're not good for each other. Yeah.
Exactly. So
So now that's where elite comes in.
that's where, yeah, that's where he comes in. That's where he comes in, and he's been like the guy that has been like sort of a father to me. That guy, I just like him for his honesty. Very honest, he doesn't sugarcoat. He puts it the way he thinks it is. And you need someone who's gonna be honest with you in life. If you doing flops, he needs to tell you,
Yeah.
hey, we are flop, but he needs to tell you. So yeah, that's where he comes in, and I'm like, okay, looking forward to this. He's been like giving me advices. He's been showing that, my guy, if you listen to me, and I really care about you and your career
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
So if someone is showing interest in, it's better to work with someone who's showing interest in you than someone you have to go and beg for interest. It's not going to be the same,
Yeah. Oh, I had a conversation with elite, and like I asked him like, why are you moving players? Is it business or are you acting in the best interest of the players? And he said the same thing that it's business, but like the first thing is the player, but it also has to make business sense. But most importantly, I don't want to put my players in the jungle and have them lost out there somewhere. So like, I understand what you say. It's a really a great agent to have. Like other people should look into the agency. I think it's gonna grow to become one of the biggest agency in the country or worldwide.
I think he has the potential to, yes. I think he has the potential to, with how he's going on, and with the numbers of players that he's trying to help, because even players that have like agents, so-called good agents, they still go and cry to him, and when they need advice and all that, because they see what he has, and they see, the advice that he gives advice where it comes from, like a father, someone who cares for you.
Yeah,
So I think he is, God willing.
yeah. I didn't want to say this, but I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. Those who are here will be lucky to know. But guys, me and Elite we've just partnered and we'll be moving players. Shout out, man. I'm saying this
Yeah,
because
shout out, man. That's big. Shout out, shout out, shout out, shout out, shout
yeah,
out, shout
yeah,
out.
yeah. Let's
Shout-
grow. So
Congratulations.
yeah, God bless. So like, man, now you're moving away from Baroka. It's a new life. Are you ready? Are you ready for the weather? Have you calculated everything? Are you prepared? Or are you going to come back 6 months later and say, you know what? I can't take this cold?
No, I feel like I'm ready. I feel like I'm ready. And now I just came at the perfect time where it's summer and it's very hot. But I am ready. I feel like it's a thing whereby I used to say this to someone, in life, nah, if it happens that we take away your life right now, or God decides to take away your life right now, nah, are you really gonna be happy with where you are and what you have done, So with me, I think it was a thing whereby you can't run away from what your heart wants and what your heart desires. You'll always go back there, you know. So I feel like if it's something that you really want and it's something that God has put for you, and you can try and escape from it and run away, but your heart will always take you there because it's something that you want and it's something that has always been there for you. It's like a dream for you, that you want to achieve and you can't run away from that. So I looked at it in that way that you can't run away from your dreams. If it's your dream to do this. And if I have to go back and get myself ready for all the challenges that were there, now I'm going back knowing, now I know better than before. I have a little bit of experience how it felt like. I know the mistakes I've made and I know where I need to improve and what I struggled with. So I feel like it's a thing whereby I have to, you know, um, persevere and see how far I go with this. Hey, this guy is in here.
How are you, my king?
King, how are you, man?
I'm good, I'm good. Yeah, I wanted to surprise this man. I know he wasn't expecting you.
I'm listening. I'm listening to this guy, my king, man. Yeah, I'm listening to this guy, man, and
Hey,
yeah.
man.
So, he's actually, let's say he's moved. He's already in the new country. He's training for a whole week now. What advice do you have for him going on for this season and other seasons to
Yeah,
come?
yeah, man. Thank you so much. I had a little bit chat with the Beast. I've been in Europe now for a year and 6 months. I hear him talking about weather conditions, and yeah, it's very tough. And um, Beast, man, it's all about discipline. It's all about listening right advices. It's all about putting more thinking of your career. And I'm involved too much in football, and I'm very close to some of the big players that I know this side, like your Nanantuli. We speak regular with these guys. Asian sometimes King is right. They are not interested of the players. They put themselves first. Be careful of who you trust. If your career is more like me as a technician, I trust people in certain things with my career. Be careful, and man, your mental attitude is right. You managed to survive first part of Europe. We are here, man, and all the best with your career. Thank you so much, my key man.
Yeah, yeah, my king.
Shut up, man. I don't want to keep you for...
Thank you, Lenyora.
Sure, sure.
Sure, sure.
Thank you, Grootman.
Sure, sure, Brian.
Hey, how does that get to your ears? How does that feel?
It feels, it feels good, ish, coming from him because he called me even like today earlier, He's one of the supportive guys that you find, when you have like your South African staying in a foreign country, whether irrespective of the job they are doing and all that, but they're always there to say, I'm going to watch who. I'm going to watch who. He's from South Africa, and they speak to because he's been in football before for very long. And, he knows people. So he gives advice on how, because he also, as much as he's not into our industry, but he's into a foreign country. He knows how things can be, how tough it can be, to stay away. He's been here for very long, so it's a very like, for me, I feel like I've had like wise words coming out from him, and I appreciate that. Really appreciate.
Yeah, because like you said earlier on, at the end of the day, it's a job. You're here to work. It's not necessarily about being a star. So yeah, I want to let you go because we've been talking for too long now. Thank you for the opportunity, man. I appreciate it. And I wish you all the best this season.
No, thank you very much for the opportunity too. Thank you for having me. Wish you all the best with the deal you had, and with looking forward to meet you again. Hopefully soon we'll see each other.
Thank you. Yeah, hope next time we'll talk when you're at the Bafana camp. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. No stress. Shut up.
God bless.
God bless.
Yeah, man. Shout out to y'all, man. Thank you for tuning in. This has been a beautiful conversation. Probably one of the longest. So yeah, let's meet again next time. It's Conversation with the Stars, man. You already know.